today's video is on how to select your modules at UCL. No, it's not. It's just how to select your modules. Okay, it is at UCL. But if you're not from UCL, you can use this advice too. So, why am I sending this video now? Because UCL have decided that we need to choose our modules in April, but before, like in previous years, we chose them in September. Now, why do you need to know how to choose your modules now? In a nutshell, people have found out that if you don't select your modules, and I say people, I mean students, if you don't select them on the day or like the day after the modules are released for you to select, you're very unlikely to get them. But it depends. If you're an economics student and you chose a module from the economics list as part of the optional module, then yeah, you're highly likely to get that. It doesn't matter when you select that. But if you choose a module which is outside the economics list, so optional modules outside, for example in management or like architecture or whatever, or philosophy, then you're quite unlikely to get the spaces depending on demand for them. So basically pick them as soon as you can. So you need to know how to select your modules or have quite a good idea of which modules you're going to select. So at the moment I have made a list, like an Excel spreadsheet, which I'm going to show you, and I'm going to explain the whole process when I'm showing you the Excel sheet on factors to look at and things I think you should kind of focus on based on my experience. And at the end of the video, I have some advice and tips specific to economics students at UCL.
Okay, so the first step we need to do is get a list of modules that you can take in the next year. So I currently have the year 3 optional modules, so the modules I have to choose from the economics department, and the general subject, so the optional modules I can take which are outside the economics department. How do you get this information? Well, usually if you just type into a group chat you're in, or in your economics group chat, just ask if anyone has the list of optional modules. Secondly, you need to make a list of your initial selections. So as you can see from the economics ones, I've highlighted all of mine in green. This is just my first initial selection. Anything that looked interesting to me, obviously in my, also you can see that they tell you the rules of the economics modules that we need to take. So at least 15 have to be with a research component, which are highlighted in yellow. So that's what the yellow is there for. My optional modules, they have rules here as well for year 3 and year 4. They usually stay the same, but they always update you with the rules again. Then step 3, I made an Excel sheet putting in all the modules that I thought seemed interesting from the economics department. So you can see this is the compulsory modules, and then optional modules, I put in all the ones that I found interesting. The next thing I did was the important factors that I think we need to look at. So obviously you need to know credit, because you can take a certain number of credits, and the term, is it term 1 or term 2? Because you don't want to have all your modules in term 2. It's really unbalanced, and it's very unlikely that even if you do have modules that you can perform well in, it's very unlikely that you'd be able to balance it well. And year, usually it's for econ. They tell you if you were able to take it in year 2 as well, or year 3 only. And that's kind of important because it can give an indication on the level. So it could be slightly easier if you take a module that was in year 2/3 rather than just year 3. And then we have a level as well. So is it level 4, 5 or 6? And then the assessment is really important for me. I perform much better in coursework rather than final exams. Then the descriptions are of course important, so you know what you're actually studying. Then just get some opinions on what people have said about this module, so you can ask people in the year above you. And then obviously prerequisites. So just see how likely you are in performing well in the module, and then would you actually enjoy it? Those are the factors, and I've repeated those same ones for the optional modules. Kind of the last thing to do is basically fill in the information. Type in UCL module catalog, then just show it step by step. Type it in, scroll down, and then what I did was I wrote. So for example, if I look at my actual list, my spreadsheet I've made, Econ 0023, International Trade. Econ 0023. They've updated it so it has the most up-to-date information. So this is what they're going to teach us for the next academic year. So what we can see is there's 50% written examination, 50% coursework. So that goes in here, assessment. So you just fill in all the information, and then what I do is I like to color code them. You'll see. So as you can see, I haven't filled everything in. Like there's like so many more modules to fill in, but the advantage of writing out the information like this is so that you can easily compare two different modules together. And what I've done is I've color coded it, assessment, because for me that's like one of the most important factors. So from that I can eliminate this module, for example, and then it shortens my list. It's kind of like a process of elimination. But obviously if there are modules that stand out to you no matter what the assessment type is like, then obviously go for it. This is just my preference. Obviously I haven't written all the modules from the list that was available, but that list is not up to date. For example, this module is no longer on the module catalog for some reason, but what that allows me to do is explore the other modules on the list. You'll see that if all the modules that you really like, if they still don't add up to the minimum requirement, then you would have to look back at the list, add them in, you know, do extra research, and there may be more modules added onto the list which may not be on that list previously. So just have a look through the module catalog, and one way of doing it is just sorting it out by department. So we are Faculty of Social and History, whatever that is, and then we go to Economics, and here's a list of all the modules that we can take.
Okay, so that is the process. I hope you found that useful. So here are the tips or very specific advice for economics students, UCL. So I'm in my second year going into my third year, but I found out there are some modules that are quite easy, and if you're being strategic in selecting modules, so you want to balance your grade with how much you enjoy the subject. So for me, for example, all the optional modules I've chosen apart from one, I've enjoyed thoroughly, and I chose them because I like them, with the added bonus of it being examined in a way that I like. So in my first year, I chose, what did I choose? Understanding management. The examination was courseworks and group coursework and a presentation. I got first in that. Then my second optional module was accounting for business. I choose all my optional modules outside of economics because I don't like the majority of the economics modules. Plus, I think choosing optional modules outside of your major is a good way to like get perspective on different things, and then maybe see how your degree kind of like interacts with that. The examination style for accounting for business was okay, in the sense that finally, like, I didn't really like it. I found it a bit difficult, but relatively to the economics modules, they are quite easy. In my second year, I chose advanced linear algebra. Yes, you might be like, oh my god, why would you choose that? Because I don't like maths, and you're like, if you don't like maths, especially from your economics optional compulsory modules, we're like, oh my god, why would I choose that? Well, it's basically first year compulsory, you know, Pemberton maths. It is that, just vectors and matrices in depth. The professor, he is so good at explaining. His lecture notes are so easy to follow. The sample exam is very good. Use that if you have no time. Use that only to revise for your courseworks. And then I have a final exam, which is, it counts for a high weighting, but I haven't done that yet. But I'm pretty confident I will do quite well in that. And I also chose for my second year global marketing strategy. I am doing amazing in that. Coursework and a group presentation, and also class participation where you have to talk in class. That is a bit iffy. I mean, it depends which kind of people you're around. So I would say economic students, the management department have relatively easier content from what I've experienced compared to the economics content. You can choose your modules wisely, especially if you're kind of losing confidence in your ability, or like, you know, your grades are dropping more than you expected them to. Yes, I understand, you guys. So it is like a balance between subjects you like and your grade. So I'm just saying it from my experience. There's probably other more optional modules, but yeah. I hope you found this video useful, and yeah, if you liked it, I would really appreciate if you put a thumbs up, and if you have any questions, put them in the comments below. Thank you very much. I will see you. Yeah, I'm doing like videos every 2 weeks now, if you notice this. Good luck.